This is Radio Taiwan International. Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Friday, May 29th. The foreign minister thanks Tuvalu for its support and vows to deepen cooperation. The Taiwan Army's 80th anniversary showcases changes to accommodate a changing world. And China's worst mine disaster in years reveals gaps in safety enforcement. But first, today's top story. Foreign Minister Lin Jialong hosted a banquet for Tuvalu Foreign Affairs and Labor and Trade Minister Paulson Panapa on Thursday, May 28th. Both Lin and Panapa stated that the two allies will continue to deepen friendly relations and expand substantive partnership as outlined in a recently signed Treaty of Union and Prosperity. Tuvalu is a key diplomatic Pacific ally of Taiwan, signing the Taiwan-Tuvalu Treaty in 2025 alongside two other cooperative agreements. In March, Lin visited Tuvalu as a special envoy to the president to witness the efforts of the plan. At the time, he was greatly impressed by what the two had accomplished so far, including the site of the new parliamentary building, which will be built with Taiwan's help. During the Thursday night banquet, Lin noted that Tuvalu immediately issued a statement supporting Taiwan after President Lai Ching-te's trip to Eswatini was delayed by alleged Chinese interference. He thanked Panapa for Tuvalu's support and said that the foreign ministry will continue to work to deepen relationships and cooperation across various fields, as outlined in the framework of the Treaty of Union and Prosperity. Panapa said that the treaty has already elevated bilateral relations to a comprehensive partnership, pointing to future cooperation on climate resilience and Taiwan's international participation. He also said he hopes to maintain close cooperation in the areas of ICT, smart agriculture, energy, and healthcare, among others. Taiwan's Republic of China Army held its 80th anniversary Friday, May 29th, showcasing weapons, combat drills, drone reconnaissance, and other demonstrations. Themed Innovative Transformation, the event aimed to showcase the Army's dedication to continuously improve overall responsive combat capabilities in a variety of situations. The celebration was hosted by Commanding General Lu Kunsho in Taoyuan and included drills, a military parade, demonstrations of new weapons, and a presentation on the Army's restructuring and transformation over recent years. Some of the military equipment on display included HIMARS rocket systems, M1 Abrams tanks, missiles, armored vehicles, and various drones, among other new acquisitions. Lu said that the Army is embracing new approaches, training, technology, and equipment. The focus, he said, is on developing Taiwan's asymmetric warfare capabilities, strengthening defensive resilience, and enhancing homeland defense. He emphasized that the current generation of the Army must hold itself to the strictest standards to live up to the history and reputation built over the last 80 years. The deadly gas explosion in China raises renewed questions about regulatory oversight in China's coal industry.
A gas explosion at Liu Shenyu coal mine in China's Shanxi province on May 23rd has killed 82 people, left 2 missing, and injured 128 others, making it the country's deadliest mining disaster in years. Authorities say 247 miners were underground when the explosion occurred. However, investigators later found that 103 workers were not carrying mandatory positioning cards used to track miners in real time. Rescue teams were forced to conduct tunnel-by-tunnel searches through smoke-filled and damaged passages, slowing rescue efforts during the critical early hours. The question of why more than 40% of workers lacked positioning cards has drawn particular attention. According to reports cited by Chinese media, some miners suggested the practice was linked to unauthorized mining activities, as carrying a position card could reveal work taking place in unapproved sections of the mine. Rescuers also reportedly discovered discrepancies between official mine document and actual underground conditions. China Newsweek reported that some tunnels were omitted from maps submitted to regulators, while unauthorized mining areas were allegedly concealed before inspections and reopened afterward. In 2024, the location was placed on China's disaster-prone local mine list due to high gas concentrations. It was later penalized twice for safety violations in 2025. Provincial authorities have also flagged major safety risks at the mine in 2023. Following the explosion, Chinese President Xi Jinping ordered an all-out rescue effort and a full investigation. Analysts say the disaster has exposed long-standing safety problems with China's coal industry and warn that similar tragedies could continue unless these structural issues are addressed. Joey Cho for RTI News.
Legislative Speaker Han Kuo-yu met with the U.S. Taiwan Business Council, or USTBC's 9th annual defense delegation, led by former Commanding General of United States Army Pacific Charles Flynn on Thursday, May 28th. Han said that, especially with the current international turbulence, Taiwan and the United States share responsibility for cooperation in supply chain security and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. Han stated that the legislature is actively promoting and accelerating the completion of relevant legal and budgetary procedures to support national defense needs. He referred to the $25 billion Special Act on Safeguarding National Security and Strengthening Asymmetric Warfare Capabilities procurement, approved earlier this year, and the Special Defense Procurement budget of more than 8.8 billion NT dollars or $258.7 million passed on Friday. Flynn and the delegation of 41 senior executives also visited several Taiwanese government ministries to gain a deeper understanding of Taiwan's industrial and defense development. He underscored that he has long supported Taiwan's self-defense capabilities because Taiwan's security involves not only sovereignty, but also regional peace and stability. In response to increasing cases of Ebola in Africa, Taiwan's CDC has announced the further tightening of border control measures effective June 2nd. In a press release on Friday, May 29th, CDC spokesperson Zheng Xuhui stated that residents of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda will be prohibited from entering Taiwan for 90 days. However, she added that exceptions can be made for students already enrolled in Taiwan, diplomatic and official personnel, the immediate family of Taiwanese citizens, and those involved in emergency or humanitarian assistance projects. According to WHO data as of May 27th, the epidemic is expanding, with the Democratic Republic of Congo reporting 125 confirmed cases, 906 suspected cases, 17 confirmed deaths, and 223 suspected deaths. Uganda reported 7 cases and 1 death. Zheng details that the CDC assessments predict that the Ebola outbreak in Africa is likely to continue escalating. The CDC has raised the travel advisory level for the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda to level 3, or warning, urging the public to avoid all non-essential travel to these countries. Travelers who have passed through high-risk areas are encouraged to proactively report to quarantine stations upon arrival. Quarantine personnel will conduct a health assessment and ask about their travel and contact history. Those suspected of having Ebola symptoms will be immediately transported by ambulance to an appropriate hospital for prevention and control efforts. Asymptomatic travelers will be tracked by health authorities and required to conduct self-health management for 21 days after arrival. If symptoms develop, they should immediately call the Epidemic Prevention Hotline 1922 for assistance with medical treatment. Failure to comply will be penalized according to the Communicable Disease Control Act. The CDC will also adjust relevant control measures as needed based on the latest international epidemic situation and border security risks in Taiwan. Taiwan is paying more attention to global climate governance with its international aid programs. RTI reporter James Thompson has the story.
Taiwan is linking its international aid programs more closely to global climate governance through its economic and trade diplomacy frameworks, a Foreign Ministry official said Friday, May 29th. Department of International Cooperation and Economic Affairs Director General Ye Zhicheng pointed to the ministry's new energy and carbon collaboration and sustainable tourism initiatives as concrete blueprints for this strategy. Because these environmental challenges demand multilateral solutions, Taiwan plans to inject more resources into such projects, he added. Ye made the remarks in Taipei at the 2026 Development Focus Forum, which was co-organized by the Taiwan International Cooperation and Development Fund, ICDF, and the National Central Library to discuss climate action directions after last year's COP30 climate change conference. Also speaking at the forum, Taiwan ICDF Deputy Secretary General Xie Peifen said many of Taiwan's diplomatic allies are developing island countries in the Pacific and Caribbean that are relatively heavily affected by climate change. The forum focused on climate finance, technology, and capacity building, featuring insights from environmental scholar Kailas Deorem Ahea and Cabinet Office of Energy and Carbon Reduction Deputy Executive Director Lin Zilun. This is James Thompson with Radio Taiwan International, reporting in Taipei.
Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Michelle Chang. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.